Hello darlings. Following my last two videos when I talked about the fawn response and people pleasing, I thought I would give you this little insight in how you can calm your mind before having to say, no, that doesn't work for me. And believe me, I really do understand the inner turmoil that you go through every single time you contemplate saying no. It doesn't really matter with those people that don't really matter to us, but what about our friends? Well, I said no to them. What about our family? Now here's the conundrum. We all want to feel wanted and needed, and I know that only too well because I'm just the same. However, I do know that at times I have had to say no because I just wasn't capable of stepping up to the plate and maybe having two small children on my own for the weekend. I was right at the beginning of my menopause. It was just so awful that I couldn't even contemplate having my two young grandchildren over to stay at my house for the weekend so my second daughter and her husband could go out. My house wasn't set up for a crawling baby and a small toddler, so I had to say no. That is a different story, and I will tell you about it one day. But I wish I'd known about this fawn response then, because then I would have understood it more. And then maybe somebody would have told me about coping mechanisms that you can utilize to calm the pounding heart in your chest. Because it does, it goes 10 to the dozen and you can hear it, and it is just horrible. So I actually did one of these, resetting of my vagus nerve. Now the vagus nerve is a very powerful nerve indeed, and it sets your flight and freeze to rest and recuperate. I mean, honestly, if you didn't know you had a reset button, well, you do now. So anyway, I was sitting here and I could hear my heart going 10 to the dozen, and I do feel really jumpy. So I thought I would try it. And it is this: you have to make the sound voo. I'm going to do it just to demonstrate. Plus, I noticed when I was doing it the first time, you can actually feel your own heart pounding. You can feel it going boom, 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 boom in your head because you're hearing the voo noise in your head. But the third, because I did it 3 times, the third time I did it, it was slower. It was actually slower, and I thought, goodness gracious, that is amazing. That was just seconds ago before I started this video. It had gone down. So fill your lungs up, purse your lips like this, and then do this. Now that's the 4th time, so I'm obviously chilled and relaxed now. But there is that you can do. There is putting your face in icy water. Now that works because it also resets the vagus nerve. There is box breathing. You breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, let it out for 4, then hold your breath for 4. Then you repeat it 4 times. Now that also resets the vagus nerve. I'm just on this vagus nerve thing now because I think it's a miracle. The other thing that you can try is a butterfly hug. So apparently this is how it goes. You put your hands over your chest like this, with your hands on top of your shoulders, and you tap them alternately for 30 seconds. Now, I could sit here for 30 seconds looking rather foolish, but I'm not going to. And this might be one of those that if you're in the car and you're just about to go to your family's house and say no to something, you could do it in your car, but you'd probably look really stupid if you stood in their kitchen and said, hang on a minute, I'm just going to give myself a butterfly hug. They'd probably have you sectioned. But apparently that resets your vagus nerve too. Those are 4 methods of resetting your vagus nerve. It is a stressful thing to do, learning to say no to somebody. And here's the story I'm going to tell you. I had brunch with a girlfriend of mine, and she was telling me about, well, you know, what we normally talk about. We talk about health, our health. It goes on for ages. We're there for 2.5 hours still talking about it. But she was telling me about hers, and she had been very poorly. Bear with me, I will get to the point. Anyway, she was saying that one of her children came over and said, can you babysit Mum? And she's lying there and feeling like she's at death's door. And she'd been like that for 3 weeks, feeling really, really ropey. So she had to say no. The child said, will you do it for the other one? She felt awful. I said to her, don't you see how manipulative it really is? So I've suggested to her that come Christmas, when all of her family are together, that she says, your father and I are now retired, and we won't be taking on babysitting anymore. So I'm just giving you the heads up so that you can make other arrangements. Now, really, you know, come 70, I think that you've earned the right to put your feet up and not have to look after small children, babies that require a lot of lifting, which is a problem if you've got a bad back. And not only that, when you're old, as much as you think you're Superwoman, Superman, you can do it all, actually you don't have the energy. It takes it out of you for days and days afterwards. And that's what is the problem. So I don't know whether she's going to do it. I fear not. But I do hope she gets somewhere with it. And what I'm saying to you, darlings, is if you've got family that constantly ask favours of you, that you are finding it increasingly difficult to do, but you keep on saying yes, well, then think about this Christmas, getting them all together. When you're all together, just say, I'm retiring. I feel that I have raised my own children. I have raised you. And I have been a big part of the grandchildren's life already. But my health is taking a toll, and I need to have the downtime now. And I'm sure that you don't begrudge me this. And I think actually that's quite an important phrase. Because if they say, well, Mum, Mum, I'd like you to babysit for us on Christmas Eve. You've only got to sit there and do nothing. Well, then clearly they do begrudge it to you. And you could say, do you really begrudge me my retirement now? Whoever it is. And leave it at that. I'm not well, you could say. I can't cope anymore. It takes me days, it takes me weeks to get over doing things. I need to retire for my own health. Give it a go. But before you do that, reset your vagus nerve, because you will be far more malleable if your heart is going 10 to the dozen and you are panicked than if you feel calm and you're saying it without the emotion. That's what really needs to happen. You need to be quite emotionless, not think with your heart, but think with your head. If you were talking to somebody else in their 70s who had 2 replacement knees and poor health, would you keep on asking them to do stuff for you when you do have the money to get your own babysitter? I think the answer would be no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that to that person. It's unkind. So that's something for you to think about. Next week, I'll be talking about a different issue. In the meantime, if you have been, thanks so much for watching. Lots of love. Bye-bye.